Hello, everyone. This is Cliff, or the Knight Rider / Gabriel Raven, as you know me. And as I said before, we're doing another try at this Q&A thing. So we've got all your questions, and I am here in Missouri with Hannah, or Hiring, as you know her. Say hi.
Hi. Hopefully this one will be a little bit better than the last one.
We hope so. So we'll go ahead and get started with the very first set of questions. So this one comes from Tyrondor. These are for both of you, so both of us are going to answer. Which story and or character from Cliff's stories is your favorite? And if you could have one superpower, what would it be? So that feels like two questions. I think we should answer the first one, which is which character or story of mine is our favorite. I think my favorite is probably Monster Club, just because of how much time and energy I put into it. And my favorite character is definitely from Monster Club. That would have to be Sarah, because I love her. She is every bit the optimist that I wish I could be. She's very much a hopeful person, and to me, that really stands out about her, and that's why she's my favorite. Hannah?
For me, I guess I would have to say it's Shogun of Crime, because I kind of like that genre in a way. And, of course, the main character is my absolute favorite, which at this very moment, I can't remember her name.
Oichi.
I don't know why, but I was thinking starting with a T. I don't know why.
Taiga, because her last name is Taiga.
Yeah,
Oichi Taiga.
I was close enough.
Yeah, you were close.
But I definitely like her a lot, because I like her personality, especially when she's like becomes a badass on certain parts. Like, yeah.
Okay, and as for superpowers, it's actually funny. We were thinking about doing a My Hero Academia kind of thing, but we didn't. And we created characters that would have powers, and the character that I created would be like a shapeshifter, which I always thought was cool. But if I could really have a superpower, I would probably just have one for all that, from My Hero Academia.
So then you could just walk into a room and just say, I am here.
I am here.
Yeah.
And, that kind of thing would be awesome. But yeah. What about you?
For me, I would have to go with the power that you see in the game Infinite Sun.
Infamous.
The neon powers. Those were totally awesome. I like those, and I totally go with that for a superpower.
Excellent. All right, that takes care of the first set. So the next one is from Darth Sitharai. This one's for me, specifically, for Gabriel Raven. Have you ever taken an interest in Warhammer, and if not, why not? Actually, I love Warhammer 40k. I only recently got into it, though, so I don't know a whole lot about it. I know more than some, but not most. My brother's actually still trying to teach me a lot about it, but I do like Warhammer 40k. Now, if you're referring to the Warhammer Medieval series, I know nothing about that. Just didn't pique my interest. But this one is for Hannah. Would you at all be interested in my Penguin Pal stories? It's like My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, except with penguins, and in my humble opinion, better written.
Penguins. Well, that would all depend. If so, you can go ahead and send me a few chapters, and I'll read them. And if they pique my interest, I'll let you know. If not, I'll still let you know.
And this one's for both of us. Would either of you be interested in a very silly idea indeed? Sesame Street, but the original characters are older. Basically, Sesame Street, The Next Generation, I think.
No. Well, for me, no, because I never watched Sesame Street as a child.
I didn't really watch it that much either, and even if I did, I don't think Sesame Street is very serialized. I don't think there's a character arc for any of the characters. I think it's more of just personalities with faces. I don't know how we would do anything with that. I just don't. It's not that the idea couldn't be interesting. I just don't think we could do anything with it. Sorry.
Honestly, I don't think either one of us would have the time to watch Sesame Street to be able to get an understanding of the characters.
I don't think I'd be interested either. But anyway, that's that one. Next question. This one is from Burke23. Was there ever a story in your brain that you wanted to write but never did? I imagine this is for both of us since it wasn't specified, but I definitely know that there are plenty of stories that I've had that I've always wanted to write but never did, for various reasons. And I have a whole list of stories in a past journal that I have put up that were ideas that I never got to. Like, I think there are 20 of them that I put in that list.
Yeah.
What about you? Have you ever had?
Yeah, there's been a ton of stories I've always wanted to work on, and even have a great idea of how it all comes together. However, the issue I always have is sometimes I have a hard time, even during drawing, I have extremely hard time with staying motivated with it. I have a shit ton of, what's that stupid word? Inspiration.
Yeah.
I keep on forgetting stupid words. I have a ton of inspiration, but the motivation is always my downfall. Like, even if, especially with line art, as soon as I get to line art, it's like, don't want to continue this. But I think it's more because I just get burnt out a little too easily. I'm still working on that. But yeah, there are tons of stories that I usually just pop out in my mind that I want to pursue, I want to create.
All right. Hope that answered your question. On to the next one. Okay, so this one is from Archangelo2. Question: Are you both Christian? And if so, when did you accept Jesus Christ as your Savior? Also, can we talk more in notes? The answer to your question about talking more in notes is absolutely. I always welcome any message in notes. But in answer to, are you a Christian?
Yeah.
Yes, we are both Christian. Hannah, do you want to start with how you came to find Christ?
I was 6 years old, and it was after my parents had got divorced, and our dad took me and my siblings to this church, and that's how I grew up with knowing Christ, knowing God and the Bible. But I didn't really accept Jesus into my heart until I was about 12 or 13, because me and my sister had gone to this church camp with all the other kids from the church. So there was that.
I think I grew up in a Christian family. Both of my parents stayed together. I live in a very nuclear family, and they raised me to believe and to trust God. But, I got baptized when I was like 7 years old, but I don't really think I understood what it meant to be baptized. And then I went to this camp for young boys called Camp McCall, which was a Christian camp where the whole idea is you stay there for a week and you go to chapel each night and you really get invigorated in the spirit. And just spending time in the mountains, spending time alone with kids my age and with adults who just really wanted to help you. I found Christ there, and it changed my life. That's how I found Christ, and I have just continued to find him every step of the way. But if you want to know more about my testimony and more about what events led to me really putting everything in Christ and where I'm at now, or if you wanted to ask Hannah more about that, send us more notes, and we'd be happy to talk about that more. But
to the best of our abilities.
It's a lot to go over in just a short amount of time. We could go on about that for like a while, but
it's pretty interesting. What age you said you got baptized?
7.
I didn't get baptized until like last year.
Really?
I mean, I guess it could count like Catholic way, but I wasn't a Catholic.
Well, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. If you're Catholic out there, correct me if I'm wrong. But don't y'all like do the baby baptism, like the sprinkling?
Yeah.
Or whatever?
I mean, from what I remember, it was kind of like that.
Well, I was raised Baptist, Southern Baptist, so you baptize once you make the commitment.
Yeah.
So there is that. But anyway, that's a lot more to go on. We'll talk about that another time, and definitely send us your notes. All right, next question. Okay, these questions come from Many Masks, Many Faces. My questions are simple. To Hannah, which is your favorite image of Cliff TF'd and your favorite form?
Favorite image of Cliff TF. Shit, I don't know. I kind of like all of them, but unfortunately for me, it kind of is hard for me. Like after I do the drawing, and it's like, oh, it's so good. But then like a few minutes later or a day later, I look back and I was like, I hate it. So many mistakes with this. But I can't really technically decide which I like. I don't care much for the older ones I did, morely because I don't care much for my older work, honestly. I like to move on forward, never want to look back. But I guess I would say it'd probably be the mermaid picture, I guess.
The mermaid?
The mermaid.
Yeah,
Morely because I liked the coloring. And mermaid in April.
The April one? Yeah, I actually like the April one. It reminded me so much of the scene from It with Georgie and the rain.
I was thinking about just adding some blood in there, just for shits and giggles.
Now the thing is, if you added the blood without the clown, it would have made it look like I was a serial killer because I had that face.
I would just added a clown hand. There you go. You killed Pennywise.
I killed Pennywise. Yes,
Georgie.
I am the new killer. Yes.
Stranger Things going on or whatever.
That'd be awesome. And then for me, where are the pony reviews? Does Hannah need to torture you by making you watch?
Yeah, dude, where are the pony reviews?
Okay, so for those who don't know, I had a friend who loved My Little Pony, and then after we broke contact, I decided to honor one of her wishes and really watch the show and review it. And I have been. I've been doing it as best as I can, but first of all, I've been so busy with school, I haven't had time to watch much of anything, let alone things that I don't really want to watch. And also, it's very taxing to watch and write reviews for that show.
Yeah.
But I promise, sometime before the summer is out, I will finish the season I'm on, and I will write reviews for it. Okay, I hope that satisfies you. Hannah does not need to torture me because, in my opinion, watching that show is torture.
Yeah, exactly. I don't need to do anything. It does its job for it. There was one episode you told me about that actually made me very mad. It was one with the Wendigos, or I don't know what they had in mind about.
I still remember that. It pissed me off.
It made me so mad because the Wendigo is like my favorite monster ever.
Yeah, we need to stop before we actually go into a tangent. We're not going to do a review here. All right, next question. Okay, so that takes care of all the brand new questions that have been sent to us, but as you know, we kind of fell behind on this due to technical difficulties. We didn't get to do the previous questions, so
your laptop had a hiccup.
Yeah, so I've pulled up the old questions, at least the ones that I could find, and we're going to try to answer them here quickly. Okay, so this one is also from Tyrondor. I found your account by reading Sky Toucher, so I was wondering if you have anything planned for it. This one is for me. The answer is no. Not right now. I think I'm done with Sky Touchers. I tried to bring it back. I didn't like where it went. It was something that I worked closely on with Mika, and without her being involved, I don't know what else to do with it. I don't know where to take it. I think it's best to just leave it alone. So.
Yeah, it can be really hard when you just have one person of the party working on it, and not two people.
It was just kind of a joint thing. I don't think I want to do anything else with it right now. If something else comes to mind and I decide to bring it back, I will. But right now, no, I think I'm
Angels with shotguns.
Yeah, next question. Okay, so this next one is from Darth Drago or Drago. We'll put it up on the screen. For both Hannah and Cliff, can you list 3 stories that you enjoy the most, each one based on a different genre: action, fantasy, sci-fi, and romance? How about you start, Hannah?
I start. Woo! Fucking nuggets. I would say for fantasy, I love the Lunar Chronicles, more because I'm a sucker when it comes to fairy tales or retelling. Mm-hmm. I'm a sucker for that stuff, except for Ruby. Well, I'm not going to go into that. For action and thriller, I would say Jurassic Park. I grew up to those series, so they kind of hold a special place in my heart. I have not seen the very newer Jurassic World. Only because I heard mixed comments about it, so I might in the later future. And then for for romance, and I'm not big on a romance at all. I just don't care much for romance. But I would say if for romance, I would actually have to say Casablanca. I actually did like Casablanca. Okay. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. For romance, for me, I agree. Casablanca is the best romance movie ever made,
and every what are you calling them? Like the most special little catchphrases came from Casablanca.
Yeah, that movie is so quotable. It is just wonderful. If you have not seen Casablanca, you've got to see Casablanca.
You got it. It's you just have to realize this is in black and white.
Yeah, it's a black and white movie. But it's so good. Humphrey Bogart is just, you can't top him. But anyway.
It's one of those moments where I hope they never remake it.
Yeah, ever. You can't. You can't remake it. People have tried. But
God.
Can't. Yeah, but don't.
Don't.
But anyway, yeah, that's my favorite romance. Let's see. Fantasy. I really got to give it to Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is the quintessential Bible, I think, of fantasy. Every other fantasy that you see, be it anime or whatever, is just trying to take something else from Lord of the Rings, I feel like. So, and I love J.R.R. Tolkien as a writer, so I'm going to give that to Lord of the Rings. And before you ask, do I prefer Lord of the Rings over the Chronicles of Narnia? My answer is yes, but that's a subject of its own review entirely. And then as for action, I had to think hard about this one because the honest truth is I don't watch many action movies or read many action books. But I know, it's weird, isn't it?
Shocking.
But I love Undisputed. If you as a martial artist, if you haven't, I love Undisputed. It's a story. And now the first movie isn't that great.
Don't watch the first one. Either watch like 2, 3, and 4, and maybe 2, but still.
Yeah, but if you watch the first one, I guess is okay, but there's no point to it.
There isn't.
If you get to movies 2, 3, and 4, it follows Yuri Boyka, played by Scott Adkins, who is just awesome as a martial artist, and it's basically about Yuri trying to win his way out of prison by winning underground fighting tournaments, and it's great choreography, great fighting, great soundtrack, all around it's awesome. Definitely recommend it, but those would be our answers to that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this next one is from somebody. What would y'all do if all of you were suddenly teleported to a different universe and got to meet the other versions of yourselves? And I clarified he does mean Hayden and Claire. So what would we do if we went to the other world where they exist and got to meet them?
I would totally give Hayden a high five for tapping that.
And I would apologize to Claire for writing them into existence. Here's the thing. I didn't intend for them to go to where they did. It was all meant to be a joke at first, but they have evolved into their own characters. It shows what writing can do.
It shows what happens when you are left alone with your own thoughts.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on. This next one is from Starlight Railroad. Are you going to put any other dinosaurs in your everyday life with Raptor Story?
Yes. Yes,
definitely.
we are.
100%.
The Raptor girls are not going to be the only dinosaurs. We have an idea for others.
Yes.
And I'm super excited to design them and everything.
Yeah, when we came down here, genuinely, one of the first things we did was watch Jurassic World and start thinking out how we were going to write the next few parts. But yes, we have more dinosaur ideas, including, well, I don't want to give too much away, but we have included Rexy, at least. We can tell you that.
Yeah. Well, of course, Roberta.
You can't do a Jurassic Park thing and
without Roberta.
Yeah, you can't not have a T-Rex.
We're not gonna pull the Jurassic Park 3 though. We're not gonna do that.
Spinosaurus. If Spinosaurus is in there, we're gonna make fun of him.
Yeah, actually, we did talk about that.
Yeah, we did. We were thinking about.
But like the plan I had I was like, I kind of want to go with that plan, honestly.
Okay, well, we won't tell you.
We're not gonna
because we want it to be a surprise, but
yes.
I think we will go with that. Okay, so Spinosaurus might be in there.
Yes.
All right, but
she will be in there.
All right, well, good question. Moving on. Okay, so this one is again from Tyrondor. Where did you first meet each other, and are there any more fun projects on the way? Okay, so the answer to that second part, are there any more fun projects on the way?
Yeah,
obviously,
probably.
Yeah. But as for where we met,
originally we first met on DeviantArt. I think you made a comment on one of my pictures. Mm-hmm. I can't remember which one. And then we became friends on Facebook, but I didn't get on Facebook all that much. I think it wasn't until I had got my new laptop in 2012, and it came with Skype. So I was like, you know what? Let me just add some friends on Skype. So I added you. Yeah. And then a few months later, it was Christmas Day. I was fixing my new desk up, and I was like, I'm bored. I want someone to talk to. So I sent a message to one of my buddies on Skype, not realizing that I had accidentally sent that message to Cliff, but I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm going to have someone to talk to anyway. And so that's how it all started. Yeah,
and ever since we have just collaborated on stuff, but it was in a very funny way, it was almost an accidental.
It was a mistake.
I won't say it was a mistake because while it was unintentional, it led to good areas. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, we got a long list of questions from Kai Matt M. We're going to try to answer these as well, but as quick as possible. The first set is for Hannah. What drawing for Cliff are you most proud of? Which drawing for my work are you most proud of?
Knight Rider.
Knight Rider.
The remake. I don't care much for the original at all.
Which Monster Club member is your favorite?
Oh shit.
Honestly, you weren't that into Monster Club.
I wasn't that into Monster Club, but so in all honesty, for me, it would pretty much be more towards design. Because if I don't recognize the story, I morely go for the design of the character.
So which one did you have the most fun designing?
Katie.
Katie. Okay.
Katie. I'm sorry, but Sarah was not the most fun. I had to look up pictures of spiders. I don't have arachnophobia, but at the same time, it's like...
It's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
How long does it usually take you to finish a drawing?
It literally depends on how motivated I am.
Which of Cliff's stories do you like the most?
That would be, of course, Shogun of Crime, Upon the Stars, Tempest Blade. I started reading Beware the Magic Fan, so I'm kind of liking that. There was others, but I can't pull them out the top of my head. It's still a little bit early for me, so.
And which of Cliff's characters do you most identify with, excluding Hayden or Claire?
Well, I would say that would be more of a Cliff question for me. I have an extremely hard time to say this character is kind of like me on stories that I never created. So Cliff will probably have a better chance of answering that question.
There are a few characters that I've made that I think I could connect to Hannah.
Oh, yeah.
They don't come to mind right now because I'm not thinking about that. Usually when I think inspirational stuff, I think of it as I'm writing out the character, not when I'm writing the story. I'll think on it and I might add it in a comment, but regardless, that's my answer to that. Now, these are specifically for me. Which of Hannah's drawings for you do you like the best? I love her Knight Rider image, especially the second one, mostly because I didn't ask for it. She drew the Knight Rider image because I wanted a nice logo, and then out of nowhere she says I'm redoing it, and I was like, why? And she said,
it's because like I didn't like it. It's like I could have been done better. Like some pictures that I've done a long time ago, if I want to, I will remake them because that's how I am.
Yeah, I mean it didn't bother me, but I was just so surprised, and it was so good.
It was so good.
I know Hannah does a lot of drawing for you. How much writing do you do for her? It's actually a sort of art trade kind of thing we have going on.
Give and take.
Usually what will happen is she'll draw me something, and then I'll write her something, or vice versa. But because I've been in school so much and working so much, I've been so out of it, I haven't been able to write as much for her as I would like. But
how dare you?
Well, there was a time where I was literally writing a story for you, Divine Warfare. I was writing that book for you, but you told me to stop because it felt more like it was becoming my story and not your story. And I get that, I do. I know you two are well acquainted, but how close are Hannah and Will? Will...
We seem to have been pretty good friends when I came to visit.
Yeah, Will was awesome. Will was tight with her.
I was teaching him all the ropes and the dopes for the evil industry and everything.
He's become a little protege to her. All right, so now these are for the both of us. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Got some weird pop-ups on my computer screen. Get rid of those. Yeah, get rid of those. All right, for both of us, what do each of you like best about the other? I really love that Hannah is just so good at designing characters. If there's one thing I'm terrible at, it's getting a mental image of character, because quite often it just becomes me mentally imagining some anime character or me in the role, and I can't do that all the time. It helps to have someone who can really get a mental image of something and put it on paper.
If it makes you feel any better, sometimes whatever comes to mind in my head, and some of the time it just never looks as good on paper. It makes me very mad, though.
All right, so how would you answer that question?
For me, I would say that it's more like I'm jealous that you are able to have the patience to research stories, and you're very determined, and you're pretty fast when it comes to typing the stories. You're like, type, done. While me was like, one sentence down, a few more to go.
The characters just come to life for me. What do each of you find annoying about the other, if anything? Okay, I'll start.
Yeah, answer very well.
There's one thing that I will say annoys me about Hannah. It is she can be very lazy.
Yes.
You have a lackadaisical streak.
Yeah.
Which, hey, it's not the worst thing in the world. But sometimes when it's like, hey, I have done my part. I've written the story. How's the picture coming? Go, oh, wait, there was a picture.
I am the real life Griff from Red vs. Blue, except I'm a girl.
Yeah, you are.
And I'm like, I have some more motivation than he does.
Okay. And what annoys you about me?
For you, and I can understand why, honestly, but it still annoys me. Usually, you look too deeply into things whatever I say, and it kind of makes me a little bit aggravated and a little bit annoyed. But I do have to realize, okay, I can understand why you do that. But then it makes me realize, damn it, I have to be careful what I say. Damn it, I have to put work into that.
How far do you two live from each other?
States away.
States away.
States away.
She lives in Missouri, and I live in South Carolina. It is
Yep.
a long distance.
Yes, it is.
When did Claire and Hayden start to develop into more than just gender-bent versions of you two? I don't know when it happened, but I know how it happened.
I'll tell you how it happened.
Yeah.
It was one stormy night. We both had a lot of drinks, which, in other words, it was soda. A lot of soda. It can get you to places. And then one of us said, hey, let's do this thing.
Now, what happened was, I think it happened when we were doing the animated adventures. As the characters were meant to be joke characters. Claire and Hayden were meant to be jokes. Mm-hmm. Just silly personas we could create to do silly things. But over time, they just started doing things we wouldn't necessarily do.
Yeah.
And as that happened, we realized they weren't just gender-bent versions of us. They were their own characters. Mm-hmm. And we had to treat them like that. So we allowed them to go on those adventures. We allowed them to do random
And look
things.
what happened.
Yeah, I know.
They made Whoopi.
They have kids now. It's amazing what can happen when you let things happen. All right, so last one. Which of you suggested this get together first? Okay, so
I guess that would probably be me.
I think that was you. In the first time we got together back at the beach, it was our idea because you were looking for a place to go on vacation. We offered you the chance to stay at our place.
Yeah.
But this time you offered me the chance to come here to thank me for letting you stay.
Yeah, and in all honesty, I kind of wish it was a little bit better because there was a bit of an issue with the weather. Yeah. We had to drive all the way to St. Louis to pick you up.
Yeah, which sucked because that was like a 2-hour drive.
And thankfully, my cousin was very gracious enough to help us.
That was very helpful.
And then I wanted to take you to this one restaurant, but because of fucking weather, the certain roads are flooded.
So we're not sure if that'll happen. But hey, still having a good time.
Yes.
But those were a lot of good questions. All right, next one. Okay, and this next one is from Last of the Wolves. What was the most fun to work on together, whether it be a picture, story, scene, or anything? Oh God. What was the most fun to work on together?
I don't know.
I think we've had a lot of fun doing animated adventures. They have been I've had fun working on them because I get to work on my comedy. But, and getting to come up with funny ideas on how we deal with
it's like,
issues.
for stories, like, all you, man.
Yeah.
No pressure.
But I think that we've had a lot of fun. You know what? I'll go ahead and put my money on the table. I'll say that Everyday Life with Raptor Girls has been the most fun. And the reason I said that, let me tell you why I say that. Usually, when I talk to Hannah about new ideas, usually her response will be, well, that sounds interesting, or that sounds cool. But she'll never, sound really invested in anything. She'll never, jump.
That's just how my personality is.
I know. It's how you are, and I recognize that. But whenever I say, okay, Hannah, what do you think of this idea over the phone? And she'll just go, oh, that's interesting. I'll go, dang it. But this time, I had the idea for Everyday Life with Raptor Girls, and I told her, but this time her response to it was, do it.
I think it was more because I was still in Jurassic Park little fiesta kind of going on because I guess because I had just watched Jurassic World or something.
Maybe.
And you sent me those pictures. I was like, and it was also early in the morning, so I was like, do it.
That was, yeah, I'd say that we've had the most fun with that just because it was the one where it's one of those moments where there was no hesitation. It was it wasn't just a matter of, oh, this could be interesting. This was, do it.
I think
we've got a plan.
I think it also helps that these are characters that we know, we recognize, and I think it's also the more fun for me.
Yeah.
But I guess what I would say for that question is, I honestly like any project where I get to design the character. It's my most enjoyable part ever in any project. I love designing a character, and sometimes the character's design doesn't always look the way I want it from beginning to end.
I really liked the way you designed the main character, Daniel, for Witch's Pilgrimage.
Yes,
that took a while, but that was a lot of fun for you.
Yes, and all it took was I wanted to go with certain colors, and
it really came out good.
I'm still waiting for that one character for that story.
I'm getting there.
I'm a unicorn.
And this last one is from Darth Sithari again. Will you have more vampires, androids, or characters that break the fourth wall in your writings?
I guess he's talking about the Tale of Tomiki.
Yeah, and if that is what you're talking about, the Tale of Tomiki, maybe.
Maybe question mark.
Well, I mean, I have a plan with Tale of Tomiki. It's going to end the way I want it to end. There won't be vampires. There may be androids. And as for breaking the fourth wall, I don't think Tomiki's ever broken the fourth wall. But characters that break. If I write another Deadpool story,
yeah, that would be great.
And if I write an animated adventure, obviously, because animated adventure is designed to break the fourth wall.
Well, yeah, we do it all the time.
So yeah, I mean, definitely going to be animated, and I'm working on a vampire story right now, called Bloodletting, which still drafting, not done with it yet. So you won't see anything for it for a little while, but still working on that. So there will be a vampire story, but that's all I can say about that because I don't want to spoil anything. But those are all the questions that I could find. If you have more questions for us, you can leave them in a comment in this video or send a note because we always appreciate notes and we'll be happy to answer them as best we can. I'll leave links to our 2 DeviantArt channels in the description of this video. But I think that just about wraps it up. This has been a long but very fun video. So I am Cliff.
And I'm Hannah.
And this has been a lot of fun. We'll catch you later with new stories and new pictures. See you later.